more structural damage.
Okay, it is 6:59. Let's go ahead and call this meeting to order with a reminder to silence electronic devices, please. Also a reminder that this meeting is both being video and audio recorded. Mr. Laurier, may I get a roll call, please?
Yes, Chairman. Mr. Paul Alexander,
Here.
Dr. Shantae Jones,
Here.
Mr. Michael Cummings,
Here.
Mr. Zach Graham.
Here.
Chair Ellen Slobodnik is absent tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, can I get assuming everyone has reviewed the consent agenda, can I get a motion and a second for the consent agenda, please?
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in
Chairman.
favor?
We didn't do
Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, hey, there we go. Let's do that too. I'm really trying to move along.
Yeah, you are.
That's why I was confused.
Thank you. All right. Well then, Mr. Cummings, care to lead us
Hey,
in
you're
the
welcome.
Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you, sir. Now consent agenda.
All right.
Can I get a motion and a second again?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to superintendent spotlights and announcements, please.
Okay, Chairman, we have a full house of spotlights tonight, so I'm going to ask Dr. Grosser to come forward and get us started as some of our students have a seat.
Yes, good timing. All right, good evening, Chair Alexander, members of the board. We have a pretty awesome spotlight tonight as we approach the end of the school year, so I hope you all enjoy it as much as I did as I was reading about some of these students who've just joined us in the room. We are going to start with some recognitions around some art contests, and I'm actually talking about, I think, 3 different art contests that we had students recognized in all 3 of them. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Prince William County's 5th Annual Law Day Art Contest. On May 1st, 2025 at 6 p.m., Jacqueline Smith, clerk of the 31st Circuit Court, held the 5th Annual Law Day Award Ceremony in the atrium of the 3rd floor of the Judicial Center. The event celebrated students' illustration of the theme, The Constitution's Promise, Out of Many, One. Several young artists received recognition and prizes for their work. Clerk Smith's annual art contest integrates civics and artistic expression. The contest provides local students with a unique and interactive platform to illustrate the role of law while encouraging thoughtful civil discourse. So here are some pictures from that evening. We want to congratulate in 5th place there. We had Hannah from Manassas Park Middle School, 7th grade student, and this was her interpretation of the theme, The Constitution's Promise, Out of Many, One. And that is her with Jacqueline Smith as well. And so Hannah, I believe, is here tonight. So Hannah, if you want to come on up. Why don't you have a seat right here, and we're going to take a picture. We'll go all together at the end. So you can stay right there with me. All right, next up. Okay, we're going to move on to the Prince William County Youth Art Contest winners. So we want to say congratulations to Fabiano and Sebastian for winning Prince William County's Youth Art Contest. This was an art contest to help raise awareness about problem gaming and gambling involving youths. Both the winning artists are from Manassas Park City Schools. Their paintings were on the 1st floor inside of the library for viewing throughout April. Both of the winners were from Manassas Park City Schools. So what you see there is Sebastian in 7th grade. That is called Monster. And then the other one is Boy at Computer. Well, you can probably tell which is which in looking at that. And I don't know if Sebastian or Fabiano's here. Yeah. Oh, Fabiano's here. And oh, come on up. Have a seat right here. We're still on art. This is great. All right, next up, the VSBA Regional Spring Network Forums Art Contest. Each spring at the Virginia School Boards Association, the VSBA Regional Spring Networking Forums, an art contest is held to showcase art from the region. Each school division submits elementary, middle, and high school entry. The artwork is judged, and artwork selected for first place is shared throughout the year with the membership and spotlighted at the annual convention. So we do have, I'm going to start with, let's see, Fabiano's here, right? Okay. Did you also do George Washington? Yes. Okay. So Fabiano, who we just saw, honored in the last contest, Fabiano won 2 art contests. George Washington. Everybody see George Washington. Fabiano, you hold this. And then we also have Emil, 11th grade. I don't think Emil's with us, but this is Emil's black and white sketch. That was amazing. And then what you see up on the screen there, we don't have this final submission because we have Ruslan in 8th grade. Ruslan won first place in the middle school category for VSBA Art Contest, and this is called The Muse Beneath Vina's Echo. I think I said that correctly. So when you win first place, they actually take your artwork and they take it on to the state contest. So this will be competing statewide. And I think, do we have, oh, come on up. So we want to say congratulations to all of our artists. You know, we often talk about how important it is to have arts and music and theater and sports and things in our school that keep our students engaged and balance out the academic demands that we have. And I think it's awesome to see how much talent we have out in our schools. So we want to say congratulations to all of our winners. You guys are going to come up here and we're going to take a picture with Chair Alexander. Congratulations. Okay, here, over here. Gather around Mr. Alexander. Right here. And yes, hold up George Washington. There we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What did you use here? Is this one on one? Oh, sorry. One more picture, come on. You gotta do it, come on up. So what did you use? Is this paint? Congratulations. Okay, you can go on back to wherever you were sitting now. You don't have to stay up here with me. Oh. Okay, we are going to switch gears now into esports. Our varsity esports team recently won the VHSL Spring Championship for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, one of 3 games offered under VHSL. So a little bit about esports. Esports refers to structured, organized video game competitions similar to traditional sports where students compete in teams and individual matches. The Virginia High School League, VHSL, officially sanctioned esports in 2019 as a pilot program partnering with Play VS, an esports platform. The pilot program focused on games like League of Legends, Smite, and Rocket League. Esports requires a tremendous amount of critical thinking, communication, collaboration, and creativity from the players to achieve and sustain success. Engaged students perform better in school. Esports has the unique ability to appeal to and engage to a wider audience. For many of our players, esports is the first time they participated in a coached and athletic activity. And so we are joined by, I think I saw the trophy in the picture somewhere out there, and we are joined by Coach Carmines, I believe is here, Coach Lumpkin. And if you guys want to come up and introduce the people that you brought with you, the students you brought with you, I'd love for you to do that. Come on up. Should I call on, do I have to call on you? Should it be Mr. Lumpkin? Do you want to nominate him to introduce? I have names, but I don't have enough names as you have students, so you're going to have to tell me the names. And you guys come on up. We're going to take a picture with all of you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. This is a great year for us. It's our third year in the program, and it's our first time bringing home a trophy. So hopefully there are many more to come. Let's start with our team captain of the year, Daniel. We are also joined by Dylan, the second of three members on our championship team. Unfortunately, Matthew was unable to join us, but we also have in attendance Gabriel and Rober, who have been very integral members of our other competing teams. We're looking forward to a long period of growth and broadening of the teams and offerings that we have.
Thank you so much. Congratulations. Stay right there. We'll-
Scooch.
Yeah, I think that works.
Really tall.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for introducing me. Okay, next up. All right, now we are going to move on to our Manassas Park High School Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA, club did it again this year. Out of 36 participants who were sent to regional competitions, 21 qualified for the state event in a variety of categories ranging from assorted flavors of business design to hardcore coding and programming. The state event held in Reston saw 6 students placing second and fourth place, qualifying for national competitions, whereas 7 other students positioned 5th in 3 distinct categories. So we want to say congratulations to our winners who did a terrific job maintaining the school's excellent reputation within the FBLA community. And we have some pictures here. I don't know if anybody made it from FBLA tonight. But Mr. Barbuza, who runs our FBLA club, did submit these pictures so that you all can see that once again they performed really well at competition this year. So we want to say congratulations to our FBLA. Okay, we're going to keep moving. All right, Teacher Appreciation. So Staff and Teacher Appreciation Week was this month in May. That is kind of our biggest recognition for our staff members throughout the year. And so we decided this year to do something a little bit different. It's really hard to recognize 600 people at once. So actually, Dr. Saunders decided to let our community start to do some shout outs for our staff members. And we put out a link, we put it out through social media, we put it out through email, and we said, hey, if you want to thank a teacher, a staff member, write in a little bit of something, and we're going to post it every single day of the month throughout May. And the last I checked, we had 171 responses, which is amazing. And you know what we saw is that we shared it out, and at first you have a few people kind of coming in, and then people started sharing that out for us, and they just started coming in, and I've really enjoyed reading all of them. So these are just a few to put out there. We've had everything from teachers to custodial crew to nursing to office staff. We had so many come in Spanish. It's really great to read them. So if you have a free moment, you want to scroll through our Facebook page, you can look back and see we've been posting probably about 3 a day, maybe sometimes 4, and we're going to save some of these and use them for some of our end of the year activities as well. Okay, next up, we want to recognize our VSBA Business Honor Roll. So VSBA, the Virginia School Boards Association, recognizes businesses on the honor roll who partner with school divisions to do some awesome things in our schools. So tonight we're talking about Capital Caring, and we have Lisa Wolf here with us, who, could you come up and introduce? Is going to come up and introduce our representative from Capital Caring and say a few words about what they do in our schools. We just came from the CNA graduation, is that CNA? Capstone presentation. It was excellent. We got to hear about all the work that our CNA students are doing in the school, some in partnership with Capital Caring. Lisa, thank you.
I am very pleased tonight to present this honor to Capital Caring Health for their partnership with our nurse aid program. Manassas Park High School's nurse aid program is what I believe, it is certainly the only in Northern Virginia, possibly the only one across the Commonwealth and larger, that is a high school program that offers their clinical site as an inpatient hospice facility. And we are able to offer that unique program to our students because of our partnership with Capital Caring Health. And so with us tonight is Mr. Steve Coe, Doctor, Mr.? I got it
This
wrong.
was fine.
Mr. Steve Cohen, on behalf of Capital Caring, to accept this honor and our gratitude for their partnership.
Great, thank
We
you.
do want to present you with this certificate, if you'd like to
Yeah,
say
sure.
anything. You're welcome to.
Thank you very much. Steve Cone, like ice cream cone. So, three quick things. First, Capital Caring Health is the largest not-for-profit hospice provider on the East Coast. And we were the first to start the hospice movement in the United States back in 1977. So we're now in our 48th year. And we love our partnership with Manassas High School and the nursing program. And I can tell you that maybe some of you saw a news article last week, I think it was, that I think was in the Wall Street Journal or the Washington Post that said that over the next 5 years, 40% of nurses are either retiring or leaving the profession. A lot of them are boomers like myself who, after 30 or 40 years of working, they're retiring. But in any event, we have a nursing shortage in this country, and it's only going to get worse. And it's hopefully through programs like this that we can turn the tide of that and get more young people interested in the nursing profession so that we can continue our mission of caring for people at the end of life, regardless of race, gender, or ability to pay. No one gets a bill. And we care for everyone in our service area. They don't even have to be an American citizen. So, and we rely on our nursing staff for the vast majority of our clinical care. So I really appreciate this recognition and honor, and thank you very much.
We didn't do the picture. Sorry, come on back.
Yeah, sorry, I'm slow.
Sure, yep, you're coming. Someone who's going to use that, Rachel. And finally tonight, it's a good problem to have when you have so many things to spotlight in an evening. Can't complain about that. We want to take a moment to recognize our Teacher of the Year nominees for this year. They've got about 2.5 weeks of school left, so they're out running around preparing for their class tomorrow, but we do plan to recognize them formally at our staff end of the year ceremony as well. But I want to take a moment tonight to tell you about our Teacher of the Year. The Cougar Teacher of the Year nominee and also the Manassas Park City Schools winner for this year was Allie Konigsberg. Ms. Konigsberg is doing an outstanding job with her students and is an exemplary first grade teacher. Her dedication and passion for her students' success are evident in her positive and enthusiastic approach to teaching. Ms. K is exceptionally kind and consistently goes above and beyond to meet her students' and individuals' needs, ensuring not only academic progress, but also fostering their growth as well-rounded learners. And these are just little excerpts we took from some of their letters of recommendation. Next up, from Manassas Park Elementary School, the nominee this year is Danielle Knopp. Ms. Knopp always goes above and beyond for her teachers and her colleagues. In her second year as team lead, she puts in countless hours outside of school and during school, helping her fellow teachers better be able to give meaningful instruction. She is always thinking in new ways to accommodate and enrich her students, meeting all of them where they are and guiding them to better understanding across all subject areas. In the middle there, from the middle school, we have Kendall Bolt. Kendall has proven to go out of her way not just for students, but for her coworkers as well. She continues to work with those around her to better the science department for her kids. I've worked closely with her and have witnessed how she guides students depending on their needs and wants. She does an exceptional job being the science lead at the middle school. And finally, from Manassas Park High School, Amelia Lilly. Miss Lilly goes above and beyond in the truest sense of the phrase. She thrives with students of all levels and excels at scaffolding information to help each of her kiddos grow. Her love for her students is palpable, and Manassas Park High School is lucky to have her and her expertise. She has truly made a difference for our kids. So we want to say congratulations to all of our Teacher of the Year nominees this year. And that concludes our spotlight this evening.
Last one, superintendent's announcements. You're gonna, all right.
Yes, Chairman, there are superintendent's announcements today. I'm going to turn it over to Rachel Kirkland, who's our Executive Director of the Bell Foundation, and she's going to share with the board and the community our leadership cohort that we are trying to start up this year. So, Ms. Kirkland, turn it to you.
Thank you. All right. Chairman Alexander, School Board, Dr. Saunders, thank you so much for having me this evening. This is an idea that I've had for a very long time, and it's one that's stolen from Manassas City, specifically from their former associate superintendent. The parent leadership cohort, thank you, parent community leadership cohort. It aligns to our strategic plan, cultivating a positive and purposeful learning environment where students engage. But we also need to engage our families, our community, and that really is some of the thinking behind this. It is a free 10-month learning experience for parents, guardians, and community members that they can come and meet with our content specialists, our leadership here in the division, and explore all aspects of the school system through some engaging sessions where they will get a chance to tap into the experience that we have here, learn about how things are done in Virginia, how things are done in Manassas Park, everything from budgeting to curriculum to governance. Mr. Alexander, you will be getting your invitation to this very shortly. Why this matters, I have long felt a need, that there is a need in this community to put clear, concise information out there to engage people who might be hesitant to step into leadership roles, the PTSO, the school board. We have a lack of booster clubs at the high school. My hope is to create a pipeline of informed, empowered community advocates who will come out and support this school system in whatever way they feel comfortable. Currently, we have about 4 applicants and 2 more have contacted me. I'm hoping to get a cohort of around 10, but those people, some of them have children in school still, some of them have recent graduates and they just want to give back. This program is open to residents of Manassas Park, people who are invested in our school community, with the hope that they will come and serve in some capacity, or at least be part of the constructive conversation that exists here in the community surrounding our schools. This is an overview of what our plans are. As I said, it really does kind of engage everything from special programs to budgeting to governance. September 30th, keep that on your calendar. Culminating at the end of the year with a May graduation where they will come and be presented to you, probably as part of a spotlight or something similar. So the participants will get a deeper understanding of how schools operate. I think we're very unique here, and so many of our people on our school board have a background in education, but from 15 years being on the school board, I can tell you that's not always the case, and rare was it, I think only one person did I ever look out and see come to meetings prior to their appointment. That would have been you, Mr. Alexander. This is another way to provide them with provide people with the background to step into leadership roles. It'll help them build connections with school staff, parents, and other community leaders, and hopefully it will be kind of a springboard to action moving forward. For our schools in our city, I think this is going to help with trust and transparency. I think an informed community that can discuss information. We all know the community forum, Bloom's page, lots of conversations go on online, but they don't have a great background of information at the base of it. And this will at least educate some people to kind of get that conversation going. But it will lead to a stronger pool of school board candidates in the future, even potentially city candidates for office, as well as volunteers and leaders in different aspects of the school division. And I think it will just ultimately connect us in the community more together. As I mentioned, I've had 4 people apply, 2 have reached out. One of those applicants is actually in the room, so I'm very happy to see you, Dr. Hayford. The application is live right now. It closes June 1st. I've been pushing it out periodically on my Facebook page for Bell. What you could do to help me is if you could share that knowledge from Bell to your social media platforms, that would be a huge help to get the word out about this. And of course, I am here for any questions that anyone has about the program. And that is what I brought you for today.
Thank you, Ms. Kirkland. Appreciate your time. Chairman, we have one more superintendent's announcement, but I'm going to pass that over to you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Saunders. Thank you, Ms. Kirkland, by the way. So it is the time of year where, this is the last meeting before graduation, where we get to give our represented senior on the board the tassel that only she gets to wear, that no other student at Manassas Park gets to wear during graduation. Crystal's been with us for 2 years. She says that this is the last of our first class. So she's been an amazing addition to the board. I'm sad to see her go, but we know she's going to go on to bigger and better things. So Crystal, thank you so much for everything you've done. Do we need to do a photo? We could just hand it off.
Okay, everybody, come on.
Everybody?
Picture board with you. And you all pose.
Here. There we go. Over like the flags.
Okay.
It's like the revolution.
You should have mixed that up a little.
We're not
All right, 1, 2, 3. It's great.
All right, moving on to public comments. Yes, Mr. Laurie, do we have anyone signed up for public comments?
Yes, Chairman. Ms. Dawn Hayford.
All right, so going into public comment, let me go ahead and read the instructions. Individuals who wish to address the school board during public comments should sign at the list maintained at the desk in front of the school board clerk prior to the start of the board meeting. Each person is to provide their name and Manassas Park address or staff, job title, and work location. Each person is allotted 3 minutes to make comments. And the board will not give feedback upon your comments or questions during the public comment time. Should your comments warrant a response, Dr. Saunders will work with staff to address the comments and concerns, questions raised, and will provide a response in a timely fashion.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Dr. Dawn Hayford, and I am a mother of 4 children in Manassas Park City Schools, including Manassas Park Middle School, Manassas Park Elementary School, and Cougar Elementary School. I have 2 at Cougar right now. Thank you, Mr. Alexander, for your response to my concerns about attendance policies and excessive absence letters. While I appreciate the explanation of state code and the School Status Attend platform, I feel the real-world burdens these policies place on families were not fully addressed. First, the state's definition of chronic absenteeism, missing 18 days or 10% of the school year, sounds alarming, but doesn't necessarily reflect a problem, especially for students with strong academic records. I've received excessive absence letters for 3 of my 4 children across various school years, even though they all excel in class, read well above grade level, and perform well on standardized tests. Second, the distinction between excused and unexcused absences seems meaningless. Recently, for Take Your Child to Work Day, my son at Manassas Park Elementary was marked unexcused, while the same absences for my other children at Cougar and the middle school were excused. This inconsistency, combined with the fact that all absences count toward the same threshold, makes the distinction confusing and frustrating for families. Third, requiring doctor's notes after 8 absences creates both financial and practical hardships. For families without insurance or facing potential Medicaid cuts, doctor's visits are costly or inaccessible. Parents must also take time off work, often unpaid or using precious paid time off, just to get documentation for illnesses that are already communicated to the school. Finally, School Status Attend claims to be able to integrate with student records and data. This should be used more effectively to include students' performance data and personalized notifications and interventions. I have shared these concerns with our state representatives because this is not just a local issue. I urge the board to trust parents, focus interventions on students truly at risk, and review attendance policies and procedures to ensure they support, not penalize families doing their best. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, moving on to new business. Student services, cell phone free education. Be good one.
Chairman, I'd like to call forward Dr. Marbury and Mr. Forrest to share an update on the cell phone free education. We've talked about this earlier in the year, and so they're just going to talk about where we are at this point and share some information about what to expect at Manassas Park High School next year.
Thank you, Dr. Saunders. Good evening, Chairman Alexander and members of the board. As Dr. Saunders just reviewed, Mr. Forrest and I are pleased to provide an update on two different items as we continue to implement necessary steps towards providing a cell phone free education. So as with everything that we implement, the updates that we will be providing you tonight are really rooted in our strategic plan, and our focus tonight will really center with Pillar 3 of creating safe spaces. So this is kind of an overview of a timeline of how we've been implementing cell phone free education within our school division, but then also the guidance that's been provided at the state level. So our focus on providing a cell phone free education initially came from our governor's orders over the summer, this past summer requiring the implementation of cell phone free education in K-12 public schools in Virginia. Student mental health concerns were the main driving factor that was cited for implementing immediate action for cell phone bans within our schools. As you can see presented here, we as a school division have taken immediate action to comply with the executive order by participating in statewide conversations, implementing cell phone and personal electronic device regulations, researching secure cell phone storage options, and also the board has taken action in passing policy to guide how we will address personal electronic devices within our schools. As a part of our ongoing conversations, research, and data tracking regarding cell phone usage in our schools, we came to realize that a different approach was needed specifically at Manassas Park High School. So Mr. Forrest will present in just a few minutes on what the new cell phone procedures will look like as implementation continues at the start of next school year for the 25-26 school year. I wanted to highlight our current regulation as it relates to cell phones and earbuds, wireless earbuds and headphones. Pictured here is our current JFC-RR regulation, and this will be updated to reflect our current expectations at Manassas Park High School, where they will join the elementary schools and the middle school with detailed information expecting that devices will be off and away from the beginning of the school day to the end of the school day. So this will be one update to this regulation that we're working through that I wanted to highlight today. And additionally, we wanted to continue the conversation as it relates to adding some details to our regulation. So some of the feedback that we received from the board was wanting to really specify a language that spoke to privacy and respect as it related to devices. And so you'll see here some language. Again, this is proposed, but just continuing that conversation of detailing expectations for students on how to appropriately utilize their devices outside of those beginning and end of the school day time. So whether it's during activities after school, sporting events, dances, things of that nature. Some feedback that we received was wanting some verbiage to detail the prior approval from administration and staff members of when it's appropriate to have permission to take photos and videos of others. And then lastly, certainly there's going to be cases where we have emergency situations, unfortunately, they happen. And we also received feedback that it was important to include in our regulations language that spoke to permission for students in these emergency situations to use their devices. So if there's a situation where we're requiring first responders, we're reaching out for the support in an emergency situation, we wanted to give grace and understanding to students that they would not need to be worried about any type of disciplinary action if they were using their cell phone to reach out in emergency situations. So you'll see those two proposed additions to the regulation presented there. And then we are going to transition now to the focus on the high school. Mr. Forst.
Thank you. So as we looked at some of the regulations and of course the intent behind the cell phone policy, a vendor who has kind of risen to the forefront for a lot of schools has been Yondr. Yondr first started in the entertainment industry and then has transitioned into schools of just being able to come up with a real solid plan of how can we help support our students with keeping those cell phones away throughout the whole day and not just between the instructional periods. So we're going to try to cross our fingers that this works. But there is a introductory interview that Yondr has put together that shows a little bit of their philosophy behind it and then what the school day would look like with the Yondr pouch.
If we are able to click. There we go.
Educators around the world are seeing the damaging effects of phones on student engagement, social development, and mental health.
Cell phones have been linked to many of the district's recent problems.
Texting, tweeting,
Cases of anxiety and depression.
bullying, staging fights, and filming fights.
In an effort to crack down on cell phone usage, the district piloted these magnetic locking bags called Yondr.
It's an easy solution for a generation in the midst of a mental health crisis.
Yondr is the established leader in creating phone-free schools. For over 10 years, our product and program has allowed students to experience the focus, creativity, and relief that comes from a phone-free school day. As students enter school, they place their phone in their assigned Yondr pouch. They close and secure their pouch, keeping it with them throughout the day. When leaving school, students tap their pouch on an unlocking base to retrieve their phone. Yondr is used by millions of students every day across 26 countries. Our school partners report having more teaching time in the classroom, improved student safety and wellness, better student engagement, student behavior, and academic performance. Creating phone-free schools is a community initiative. Our comprehensive program provides support to our school partners from start to finish with step-by-step guidance, parent communication materials, policy development, and proven expertise to ensure everyone understands the difference a phone-free education can make.
It's amazing to see kids come to school and not have to worry about that phone going off or them being bullied by someone else on social media.
It was kind of annoying at first, but then I saw the difference between my old school and this school.
I see more people interacting rather than being on their phones, especially at lunchtime and break time. They are way more engaged, everyone's happier.
It's night and day. I saw kids' faces again.
He's driving for us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
We've got a long agenda today.
Oh, he's got, okay. right, so I'll fast forward here. So you got a little bit of that visual aspect of what it'll look like. Actually, today we finalized our order with Yonder. In doing so, they have provided quite a few resources for us that we'll begin to sort through some best practices at other schools and how they're implementing it. But as you saw in the video, that students, they'll turn off their phones, they'll place them in the pouch, and then there's a magnetic lock on that pouch. So that students can put it in their backpacks and they will be able to carry their device with them throughout the whole school day. And then at the end of the day, they will be able to unlock their device, or excuse me, the pouch, at the end of the school day in order to retrieve their electronics or their cell phone, AirPods, whatever the case may be. So as you can imagine, there's a lot of logistics that will be involved with that, especially as we have 3 different entrances and exits to the high school. And so part of that order that we have with Yonder is making sure that we have those unlocking bases for our students as they come into the building and as they exit as well. So kind of where are we now? And we're developing these policies. We do have a committee of teachers and staff to help think through the logistics of what we are doing. Some of the questions that we've encountered and also Yonder has helped us to think through is that what happens if a student does forget their pouch? We will have some storage areas in the main office and with our new dean at the high school that those devices can be stored. If it turns out that the reason why consistently a student does not have a pouch because it's been damaged or it's been lost, then there will be a replacement cost for that. And we will work with those families. Yonder has also given us some information on what to look for. We know that this is not a foolproof system, but what happens if students try to access their cell phone throughout the day, and in doing so that they damage the Yonder pouch. So they've given us some guidelines of what to look for and how to make sure that the pouches that they do work. So we'll be communicating with our students and with our families as well on how to take care of their pouches so that they are not damaged. And then what happens if it happens during the school day where a student does unlock their pouch without permission, or in the process they end up damaging their pouch as well. So we will follow our disciplinary consequences, a little bit similar to what we have this year, but of course that Yonder pouch will add a different element into our discipline processes. The question always comes up, even now when we have students who have their cell phones away during instructional period. What if a parent needs to get a hold of their student? We'll definitely still make the front office available where parents, they can call in and we can have our students report to the office to speak with their parent, or vice versa. If a student needs to get in contact with their parent, they'll be able to come to the main office as well. For those students who have either a medical plan or educational plan, we do have some special pouches for them as well, and we will certainly work with those plans to make sure that we're adhering to those policies that are set in place for them. And of course, any school emergency, we will continue to follow our protocols to address any of those things. So what are our next steps? With our order coming in with information that Yonder has given us, we've kind of broken it down into these areas. Obviously, communication with our students, communication with our families is extremely important. So our 9th through 11th grades students will need to know exactly what the expectation is. And of course, open house will be another great time that we can give visual demonstrations to our families as well. So our committee is looking at all of these policies and procedures with arrival and with dismissal. That is something that we'll also spend a lot of time in August as our staff returns back to the building to make sure that we have that plan fully implemented in place. And then just logistics of the very first day of assigning those pouches. We will start on day 1 with making sure that our students do have those pouches, and we will address that in their classes on the very first day as well. One of the things that Yonder has recommended is to do pouch checks periodically. So they'll increase in frequency in the first couple weeks of school, and then we will spot check randomly different classrooms and different periods and different blocks as well, so that students know exactly what that level of expectation is, and also that we can work with our staff during this process as well. Of course, going back to that communication piece over the summer and before we release from school this year, We'll definitely have information for parents, have information for students on what that will look like, and make sure that we update any of our handbooks or any of our policies as well. And that is what yonder pouches will look like at Manassas Park High School.
Who wants to go first?
I can. I just have one quick question. Did we do like a pilot, or are we just jumping all in?
So they did give us several of their resources to take a look at, both the pouches and the unlocking bases. And so in some of our leadership teams, some of our department chair meetings, some of our faculty meetings, we've had staff and take a look at it and visualize what that would exactly look like, what that process might be. As far as implementing it with, say, a set classroom or with a wing of the building, that has not been done, but we have shared it with our staff to get their feedback.
Okay, good.
I'm formulating a question.
So looking here at the privacy and respect for others, understand fully, I see taking photos of on school property, just school-related activities. Can you kind of talk a little bit about I'm thinking things like sporting events, right? Taking photos of sporting events, theater, concerts, all of the above kind of would be covered under this. Field trips, can you talk through kind of the practicality of, the necessity, the enforcement, kind of what led you to go this way?
I'm going to add on to, because this is what I emailed the same question this morning about that. That's the one area where I know this is a draft, like Dr. Marbury said. I personally would like to see some clarification there, especially around kids at homecoming court are going to take photos of the homecoming court. That's, and to think that they're not, it's crazy. So I'd like to try to get a little more structure. I know the sentiment of where that's coming from and what we're trying to get to with that statement. I just was trying to figure out to Zach's point, exactly the same exact thing.
And if I'm addressing your question correctly, so this would be during the instructional day, right? From this policy would go into place when students enter the building for the school day, and then when they exit. So those sporting events or those activities or concerts, that occur outside of our normal school hours, students would have obviously access to their cell phones and be able to implement and use them, for those activities.
I think they're referencing you're referencing the
Yeah,
regulation.
photos without prior approval from an administrator or staff.
Yeah, so I think, that was derived actually from feedback that we received from the regulation and trying to find specific language that was a little more focused for students. We've definitely had some instances where there have been pictures that have been taken or videos, usually with the best of intentions, but without the consent of the student. And so we were trying to find language to address that would be in the regulation. We already have language to that effect within our code of conduct, so we kind of also elevated it within the regulation to just draw further attention to it. But we certainly can look at providing some more detail to it so that it reads more clearly.
I'd be, just so that we don't have to, read, well, the code of conduct says bell to bell, but here this says, to me, if I see district-related activities, I just think in general that's anything.
Yep.
So for me, I'd have a higher level of comfort knowing that it's called out in this policy as well, that it's a bell to bell kind of set of criteria on top of that.
Okay, so I have a question specifically around the medical aspects of the pouch, how those would work, specifically looking at students with type 1 diabetes that use their phone to monitor their glucose.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, those students that have a health plan or have a learning plan, their pouches would look a little bit different. So for example, especially with a medical plan, they have more of a Velcro than they do with a magnetic lock. So it allows easier access if they do rely upon their device for any kind of health concerns.
Okay, so there's a lot of trust there as well.
Right,
So,
exactly.
Just thinking ahead, that particular students are breaking that trust. Is there an action plan that they would follow so that they still have use when needed, but
So, correct. So even right now, I mean, we obviously have students who, as you gave an example, have diabetes or use some kind of monitor on their cell phone, and we have certainly communicated with parents. And if a student needs to, access their device during the instructional period now, and it's for that reason, teachers are aware, and so that way that they can support that student. On the other hand, if that student does take advantage of that, we've had those conversations with student and parent as well. So a lot of it is knowing our students, right? And making teachers aware as well as those students. And we do that with all of our students with their health plans or with their learning plans as well, that teachers know what those accommodations are, how can we support those accommodations, but yet when we need to enforce our policies that we're able to do so as well.
Okay. So to Mr. Cummings' point, we've looked at Yonder for several years, and I know even from talking with them, they've been clear that this is just to help. This gets you to 90%, so that way you can focus on the 10% that are violating the rule, because you're never going to get 100% with any solution. This just makes monitoring the solution more manageable. So I think it's all good. It's a good expectation to set. There was references in there to taking care of the pouches. I guess what I was question related to is, since there's a fee associated with loss or with damage, aside, obviously, tearing it apart to get to your phone, but are there things like, I'm just thinking like, it's in somebody's, baseball, gym bag all day, and by the end of the year, this thing just is ripe. Are there ways to take care? Are these bags being reused? Like, are the seniors turning theirs in, and some poor person is going to get that Yonder pouch next year, or how is that kind of move?
Yeah, I would be a little bit surprised that a Yonder pouch would last the 4 years and then being able to implement for a 5th year to someone else. So care of the pouch is something we will definitely, with our deployment, talk to our students about as well. And, especially while their device is in it, I'm sure they're going to take great care, of that pouch. Perhaps once when their device is out of it, and Yonder does have some recommendations. They do recommend, if you saw from the video and the picture, that there is a little pin that you push into that helps seal and lock that magnet. And they do talk about that once it's even empty, it is a good idea to go ahead and close that pouch so that pin cannot be bent, and it does help protect the integrity of the pouch. So they do give some recommendations on best ways to take care of their pouch, and one of the conversations that we've had with our committee of staff is like from day one, how do we label it for students so students clearly know that this is theirs, and so that if you're in a class of 25 students, that it doesn't get into some kind of mix, or it's easy for students to be able to claim the pouch that they've been assigned.
You just answered my next question.
Yes. So we've talked about 2 different ways. Students, they do have an ID card. We can even print those for them, a temporary one. It does have a nice little clear window where you can slide like a business card, or you can slide an ID that's in there. So we've talked about doing that from day one, and maybe even going a little bit old school as well, of teachers having Sharpies, and you open up the flap and you write your name on there, or you write your student number. So I think more ways that we can have students kind of claim and make sure that theirs is easily identified.
Just from my own personal, I was going back to when we issued Chromebooks and all the AC adapters started growing legs. So I'm just kind of thinking, something that's permanently marked on there, so even so that siblings don't take the wrong one, those kind of things. So.
Yeah, so that's something that early on we talked about, maybe identifying it 2 different ways, through that clear window that they can put an ID or put some kind of slip with their name, and then also with a Sharpie.
Gotcha. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated.
Thank you. And this is just the high school, right, for now?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Chairman, just a couple of additions. First of all, I wanted them to get out early with this information, just so we can start that communication process. And I want to thank Dr. Marbury and Mr. Forrest for sharing where they are at this point in the process. Really important. I want to thank their team at the high school, the teachers. things will only work when the staff is committed and the people in the building are committed to that work. So I want to thank their teams for really thinking about it and thinking how we can attack or tackle the problem. And then the last thing I would just share is just a reminder that we have policy, which the board will direct is the bell-to-bell policy, and you all have adopted that. What we continue to share with you is the regulation. At the end of the day, the superintendent puts the regulation into place, so I'll give it an active date. But I felt it was really important to be putting that regulation out there for some feedback and continuing to make sure that it is living and working with us wherever we are in this process of implementation. So your feedback to Dr. Marbury around the regulation would be very helpful.
Thank you, Dr. Saunders. All right. Moving on to student achievement.
Okay. I'm going to have Mrs. Mammon and Ms. Priester come forward to share some information about our professional learning plan for the upcoming year. So, Mrs. Mammon, off to you.
Good evening, Chairman Alexander, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to share our proposed professional learning plan with you this evening. Before we explore the components of the plan, it's important to frame our work within the context of our strategic plan. On this slide, you'll see our 3 pillars that guide our work here in Manassas Park City Schools. This professional learning plan was intentionally designed to support and reflect each of these 3 pillars. We'll highlight that alignment in more detail later in the presentation, but we wanted to begin by grounding this work in the division's overall vision. This plan was carefully designed to support the diverse needs across all of our school division and those diverse roles to include our teachers, support staff, and administrators. It's designed to strengthen professional capacity of all employees, to provide structured opportunities for professional growth, improved job performance, and leadership development, and to reflect our ongoing commitment to collaboration and continuous improvement. It also closely aligns with our efforts to recruit and retain high-quality educators and team members across the division. Ultimately, this is a plan about supporting our staff so that they can best support our students. At this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Darcy Priester, our Professional Learning Coordinator. She'll walk you through how the plan was developed, how it aligns with our strategic plan, the delivery methods we'll use, and how we'll evaluate its effectiveness moving forward. Ms. Priester?
Good evening. Before I dive into the details of the plan, I'd like to take a few moments to share how it was developed. The first step in the process was gathering input by distributing surveys to our instructional and classified staff. In the past, our focus has been primarily to survey our instructional staff. However, as we expand our professional learning efforts, we broadened our approach to include all staff. We distributed 17 different surveys tailored to individual roles to reflect the unique responsibilities of these different positions. So this was between teachers, school nurses, bus drivers, food services staff. This approach allowed us to gather more meaningful and role-specific feedback. So some of the questions that we talked about were for their specific roles, but we also added questions to broader workplace interests such as retirement planning, benefits, and leadership skills. Once we received results, the raw data was shared with division leaders, and for the first time, we shared a summary of the results in a report with all staff. So if you've not had a chance to see this summary, we have linked it in the presentation for you tonight as well. Also, a part of this process, I met one-on-one with division and school leaders to talk about department and school level needs. And then in addition to all of the results and meeting with each of the leaders, we reviewed the school achievement data, previous professional learning plans from the division, and also examples from surrounding school divisions to ensure that our plan is comprehensive. So once we received input from staff and leadership, we developed criteria to help guide us as we select and develop future professional learning opportunities. So these include alignment with strategic goals, school improvement plans, and student achievement data. We also considered factors such as cost, compliance with state and federal mandates, and whether learning opportunities would support the growth of our educators. This criteria ensures that we are making thoughtful, targeted decisions about the opportunities that we are offering. So having shared how these opportunities are selected, you may also be wondering, how do we fund these opportunities? So we use a combination of federal funds such as Titles 1, 2, 3, and 4, which support areas such as instructional quality and student support services. We also use VDOE grant funding, such as the L Network and school improvement grants, and local funding. So with all of these items in place, we're able to offer a range of professional learning opportunities aligned to staff needs and division goals. Some of the topics that were included in the plan were identified through feedback that we received from the surveys that I mentioned earlier. So listed here are some examples of professional learning that we will be providing, but it's certainly not limited to just the ones listed here. For Pillar 1, Reimagining the School Experience, we focus on areas that support strong instructional practices and student support, such as differentiated instruction and understanding accommodations and modifications. We'll also focus on data and assessment, helping educators align grading practices and using data effectively. And finally, building collaboration and alignment through technology integration and vertical planning across grade levels and departments. Under Pillar 2, Building Community and Connection, we will strengthen relationships and collaboration at all levels. This includes supporting student and staff well-being through social emotional learning and mental health training. We're also working to improve collaboration at all roles, especially between general education, special education, English language teachers, and instructional assistants. And we'll also offer training to enhance how we are engaging our families and our community, such as customer service training for classified staff and training sessions on division policy and procedures to provide clarity and consistency. For Pillar 3, Creating Safe Spaces, we'll focus on supporting both the emotional and physical safety of our school communities. This includes training in de-escalation and conflict resolution, also support for implementing a multi-tiered system of supports, also known as MTSS. And we will also offer training on school safety and crisis management protocols, ensuring that staff is well prepared in case there is the event of an emergency. We're also investing in leadership development to empower educators at all levels to foster safe and supportive learning environments. So let's take a look at how these opportunities will be delivered to staff. We recognize that adults learn in different ways. So we have a variety of delivery methods that will meet staff where they are and ensure that learning is engaging and relevant to them. So some of this learning will happen through collaborative job-embedded experiences, such as collaborative learning teams or instructional coaching. We may also have more structured formats, such as workshops or online or micro-credentialing courses. And we will also provide opportunities for reflective and independent learning through book studies and video-based learning. So once our professional learning plan is implemented, it's equally important that we evaluate the effectiveness, making sure that it is meeting its intended goals. So once a training session has been completed, we will gather immediate feedback through session evaluations and also observe strategies for how these strategies are being applied through classroom walkthroughs. We'll also look at longer-term indicators such as student achievement, teacher retention, and relicensure data. And we will also use ongoing needs assessments and an annual report to guide us and help make adjustments for the future. So another important part of our professional learning process is understanding the requirements for licensure renewal. So according to the Virginia Department of Education, educators who have a 10-year license must earn 270 recertification points. So learning opportunities are awarded 1 point per hour of learning with a minimum of 5 hours required per activity. To support our staff in tracking this progress, we organize these points into 3 different categories within the division. So we use professional development points, which are for instructionally based activities such as workshops or book studies. We also use graduate credit for university-based or college-based courses, and then hours, which is for compliance training such as Safe Schools, which is implemented during pre-service week. And then to further aid our staff in tracking their progress, we utilize KickUp. This is a professional development management system. This allows us to create a digital catalog of learning opportunities, which staff can search for and register for different opportunities. And then they can also upload certificates for external learning events. So with KickUp in place, this better helps us be equipped to support our staff in their growth. So I'll now turn the presentation back over to Mrs. Mammon, and she'll share our next steps.
Thank you, Ms. Priester. As we look ahead, we're excited to begin launching this plan through several professional learning opportunities already underway for the summer and the start of the next school year. And these includes our summer curriculum work, where it will focus on developing aligned lessons, assessments, high-quality instructional materials, but at the same time embedding meaningful professional learning throughout the process. We'll kick off our new school year in August with our new teacher orientation, where we'll welcome our new educators through a structured orientation designed to help them feel prepared, connected, and ready to be successful in Manassas Park. That will be followed by our August pre-service week. This will be a strong launch to our school year, where we'll offer a mix of division-wide and school-based sessions tailored to the unique needs of each school community. We'll once again in October have our Professional Learning Academy, where we'll offer targeted sessions for educators and all staff members across various roles in our school division. We'll enter into year 3 of our Teacher Leadership Academy. This year-long experience aims to grow the capacity of teacher leaders to lead and support school-wide improvement efforts. And also this year, we're launching a course focused on equipping our school leaders with tools and strategies to better serve our multilingual learners. All of these opportunities represent a strong and intentional start to bringing this professional learning plan to life. Aligns with our strategic goals, and it reaffirms our commitment to investing in the people who are having the biggest impact on our students. Thank you for your continued support of this very important work. I look forward to returning at the next board meeting to formally request your approval of our proposed professional learning plan and continuing to move it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mammon. Any questions from anyone on the board? All right. I had a couple. I always do. So I was looking at the survey that went out, and when I'm thinking about next year when we get the annual report, will there be kind of like the data within that report that kind of talks about the community involvement is one that really kind of jumped out at me. The supporting the diverse learners with the 504s, IEPs, like really, I know that that's so confusing because each kid has their own individual plan, and so those are some things, and there's so much risk associated with making sure you follow those to the letter. So those are some of the things I was kind of interested in, and then on just a side note, what I enjoyed reading out of it were the responses. A lot of the responses, people always say you don't have to always spend money to make people's workplace more fulfilling. Like, getting the staff to understand the retirement benefits. Like
that came up quite a bit in the survey.
It kept coming up again and again and again. So it was really nice to see that there are things we can do as a district to have a positive impact that actually have a minimal cost as well. So I just I appreciated all of the information and all the detail in the survey. So, and then the last point / this is a little bit of a question. The breakdown in the survey of obviously 50% are teachers. So, but I was looking at like 0.7 of the response is IT. So, but is that 0.7 100% of that department? Or is it Matt and Rami, like just typing away all their responses? Or is it, I'm
They
just
were
kind of
very busy at that time.
I was just, because I've been on the end of some of these kinds of surveys where, you're in a department that represents 1%, but, of all of transportation, all came back with the same answers. They're still only, a fraction of what the teachers are. So a lot of times their voices get diluted. And so are those kind of things factored in, like the weighted amounts that associated with those departments and the kind of the approach that we take?
So I will say, first, I would like to commend Ms. Priester for her work in developing those 17 very tailored surveys to all of the various roles, and she was very intentional about wanting to make sure that we got specific feedback for each of those roles. Understand, of course, with surveys, you want 100% response rate. We were excited with 50. I think always looking to grow that. In addition, when we tried to think about the various ways to get that feedback, and so maybe it wasn't just for some of our groups, I'm going to get the email and do the survey, but Ms. Priester took time and went out and met with the department leads, who then in turn were able to have some face-to-face conversations with their staff and their team in order to get that feedback. So in terms of the data of that, I'll let you answer that one about the IT, but I did just want to commend. That was really important as we develop this plan. And so I think data and tracking it, absolutely. Here we have this, and we're going to track what professional learning we're offering, the impact that we're seeing, and then continue that year over year.
That is great. Thank you. It was impressive. You had 52%, I think was your response rate. That's a great response rate.
Especially for the first time having done this many different surveys, I was really happy to get that, and I hope that we continue that in the future. I know the middle school especially really made sure that they pushed surveys during the faculty meeting and during their instructional time or planning time with teachers. So that was great. So that's something next year that we can take back to schools and say, if you can give them a dedicated time to do the survey, that was also helpful.
And I think that it will naturally drive itself in terms of increasing that participation and getting the feedback, because when teachers, staff members feel like they're being heard and we're able to provide professional learning that is meeting the needs that they're expressing, then I think that they continue to want to be more willing to share that feedback.
Thank you again. Okay. Moving on, finance. Thank you, Ms. Manning.
Mr. Ellsworth will have Mr. Lyon come forward to talk about fees.
Good evening, Chairman Alexander, members of the board. Tonight I'm here to present our annual update to the fees. Here is policy JN. The green shaded areas are the changes or additions, and the red shaded areas are the deletions. Most of these edits are cosmetic, paralleling uniformity in the language and the wording. And other than that, there really aren't any changes, significant changes to the fees. That concludes my presentation.
Very efficient. Thank you, sir. Any questions from the board? All right. I'm assuming if anyone has any questions, they can email Mr. Lyon.
Yeah, and this is the first reading.
Yeah, it's just the first reading.
Yes, it'll be on the consent agenda in June.
Gotcha. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, moving right along. We are moving to the action portion of the agenda. Manassas Park City Schools Math Resource Adoption K through 5.
We'll invite Mrs. Barron back again to talk to the board about this action.
Good evening again, Chairman Alexander and members of the board. I am here tonight to request your approval of KIDM as the adopted math resource for grades K through 5. At our last meeting, Ms. Christy Graff, our K-12 math specialist, and I presented an overview of the adoption process and shared information about KIDM, the resource that was recommended by the adoption committee. Following that presentation, the resources and related instructional materials were made available for public review, and we invited Manassas Park families and community members to provide feedback. We did not receive any public comments during the review period. So at this time, I respectfully request that the board take action to approve KIDM as the K-5 math resource for Manassas Park City Schools.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Can I get a motion and a second for a vote?
I move that the school board of Manassas Park City Schools approve KIDM as the K through 5 math adopted resource for school year 2020.
Assembly for grade 5 will be held at 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Manassas Park Middle School has some announcements and events coming up as well. Manassas Park Middle School Cougars are blooming awesome. Watch us grow. It's spring concert season, and our Manassas Park Middle School bands and choirs performed amazingly at the recent May concerts. Each night, our auditorium was packed with parents, family members, and MPMS staff celebrating our student performers. Cougar Pride Students of the Month. Manassas Park Middle School recently recognized 30 students as Cougar Pride Students of the Month for March and April. Students received a beautiful certificate, a Student of the Month lapel pin, and an ice cream coupon for a sweet treat during lunch. Later this month, we will recognize our May Cougar Pride Students of the Month. Staff Appreciation Week was May 5th through 9th. Manassas Park Middle School sends thanks to all students and parents who helped us celebrate our outstanding staff during Staff Appreciation Week. Your notes and thanks and treats are much appreciated. Friday, June 6th, 8th grade end of the year ceremony will be held at 8:30 a.m. In the Manassas Park Middle School gymnasium. All 8th grade parents are invited to attend this special event.
I have all the announcements for Manassas Park High School. We are nearing the end of the school year, so make sure you finish off with strong grades. May 23rd is the last day of classes for seniors. Seniors must meet all graduation requirements to participate in senior events and activities. Before I continue, we didn't add this on, but the Pops concert for the high school is this Wednesday, May 21st at 7 p.m. in the auditorium at the middle school. So I just wanted to put that out there. May 29th is the Honors Assembly at 8 a.m. in the high school gym. Seniors must arrive at the middle school auditorium no later than 7:10 a.m. in caps and gowns and appropriate formal attire. Senior parents are invited to attend. The ceremony will also be live streamed on the Manassas Park City School YouTube channel. May 29th, the same day, is the Senior Walk. It's an option for seniors to walk through Cougar Elementary, MPES, and MPMS in their caps and gowns. May 30th is graduation practice, 9:30 a.m. in the middle school auditorium. Inclement weather decision. If the forecast for Saturday predicts severe weather, a decision regarding the location of the ceremony will be made. A text and email will be sent to all senior parents by 8:30 a.m. on Friday, May 30th. If outdoors graduation at Cougar Stadium is canceled, ceremony will move indoors to the high school gym. Only patrons with full color keepsake tickets will be allowed inside the gym or high school building. There are only 2 tickets per graduate. Indoor ceremony will be live streamed on the Manassas Park City School YouTube channel. And May 31st is our graduation ceremony at the Cougar Stadium at 8:30 a.m. pending the weather. Please note the new ceremony start time is 8:30 a.m. This change is being made with everyone's health and safety in mind due to any heat-related issues. A ticket is required for each person entering graduation, including children. Graduation is a rain or shine event. Stadium gates open at 7 a.m. Seating is available on home and away bleachers and on the stadium field. Stadium gates will close at 8:10 a.m. for the Percival Family Market at 4 p.m. Please join us. And June 6th is the last day of school for all students and quarter 4 ends. And that's all the announcements I have.
All right. Thank you, guys. Moving on to board member comments. Hey, Zach, you want to go here? Jones?
Just a huge shout out to all of the art contest winners, all of the esports winners, the FBLA team, all of the teachers and staff for Teacher Appreciation. Thank you so much for everything that you do. Another shout out and thank you to the Capital Caring Health program and to our Teacher of the Year, the winner and the nominees. We appreciate you. And Ms. Kirkland, thank you for that parent leadership cohort. I'm excited to see what is going to become of that. So thank you for heading that and actually getting that going. And that is all for me. Oh, and thank you, Crystal. We're going to miss you. Glad you were able to be a part of us for 2 years. Congratulations.
All right, I just want to say a quick thank you, Rachel. I really like where your mind is going to really include the community, you know, and reach out in just in different ways. So I really appreciate that. Congratulations to our Teacher of the Year. Thank you for Capital Caring. Basically, what Doc had just mentioned. Also, just kind of an anecdotal notes. Thinking about the cell phone policies. I keep anecdotal notes from my own, and if you'd love to see that the 7th graders are the highest offenders by a lot, it's just one of those things. And I know working with the high school, you're going to see some changes. You're going to see, you guys are going to see the refusals and just typical student behavior is exactly what we expect our kids to do because it's new and they haven't adapted yet. I just say good luck with that. But I really do want to see these programs successful. I really appreciate that the ideas have been coming out. We're putting a plan into action, and I think the biggest thing is for those that may not know, getting the staff buy-in. So I want to say good luck with that. I know you guys have some ideas and enjoy the process. And I want to say thank you for the creativity around that. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, everybody else said most of the thank yous. Thank you to guys to the Yonder Committee. Again, you're going to have your hands full. I'm looking forward to it, though. Hats off to the Addams Family production.
Yes.
You guys forgot them? I didn't. And also to our nursing program. Thank you again for the invite today. It was impressive to see the ladies. All the other, the VSBA, or what's the VSBA that highlighted the women in roofing as well. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting all kinds of great PR from your. Thank you so much. No, it's too late.
I'm sorry. It's important. I just wanted to give a shout out and congratulations to all of our students that graduated from Governor's School on Saturday. So big shout out to them and congratulations to you all.
Okay. I believe, Mr. Cummings, is this your last meeting?
Yes, this will be my last meeting.
So I just wanted to thank you as well for all of the time. And I mean, people don't understand until they sit in these chairs the commitment associated with sitting on the school board. So I just wanted to thank you so much for the time and wish you the best. I know you're moving out of the district, but hopefully wonderful things in the future for you.
I appreciate it. It's been a learning lesson, a huge learning lesson, to understand how divisions work. I've been blessed to work for many divisions, many large, some small, and the opportunity to serve and learn how things work, the process, the money that it takes, all the moving parts. Just want to say thank you for the opportunity, and I really appreciate the professional relationships, personal relationships that are developed, and I want to wish Manassas Park the best. I love to see the Cougars putting their names out there, whether it's in music or esports or CTE. Finding new ways, different ways to just continue to bring glory to our small district.
All right. Last one, congrats to all the seniors too. Look forward to seeing everybody at the upcoming graduation. So, All right, moving on to upcoming meetings. We have an upcoming meeting Monday, June 23rd at 6:59 p.m. City Hall, Board Chambers, second floor. And now I would like to call a 10-minute recess so that way we can move upstairs to go into a closed meeting. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.